Hello, everybody. Dr. Kreft here, about to do something new, and I am super excited for it. So I have just pinged lately to go live more often, and I did it a bit in the past, but never really chose it as like a frequent thing, and I like to follow the energy, as this is titled. So what we're going to be doing here is 14 days of following the energy in life and biz. And so I want to each day share a tool, information, awareness, so that you can create more ease in your life and biz. And I know that's really broad to start off with, but this is all going to be informed by the energetics because this is what I teach folks. And I am so passionate about getting people to trust themselves, to follow what they know. I literally just got off my Activate call, and this is for my early entrepreneurs, and we're talking about social media and being seen on there and all those things. And I'm offering them a lot of awarenesses that I've had, right, based on my experience and what I'm kind of seeing and whatnot and what I've learned. And I'm constantly going back to, and what do you know? If you were to incorporate what I'm sharing with you along with what's pinging you, what would that create? Because it's so easy in this society to just choose what we think we should do, right? Well, this person did it like this, step by step, and it worked for them, so I'll just do that. It's like, that's not how it works. It works when you follow you. So what does that take but trusting you, listening to you, and being aware? So that's where I want to start today, because I was like, well, what do people really need to get first? It's like that you are more aware than you know. You're more aware than you've been taught. And a lot of things that you experience up here in your body are awareness. And what do we usually do is make ourselves wrong for it. I'm having this thought, this is my anxiety, this is my chronic pain, whatever. So to paint the picture for how aware you are, I want you to just take a moment with me and imagine lowering your energetic barriers. Now you'd be like, what is she talking about? What does she mean by that? Just imagine a energetic wall in front of you. Imagine it coming down. Just by you putting your intention and your attention to it, you are doing it. So just take a moment and lower your energetic barriers. And allow your energy to expand out. So expand out further than your physical body, further than the room that you're in, further out, further out, further out. Keep expanding so that you're filling your entire state, your country, multiple countries, and try to find the edges of you. You can't. You can't, because you are an expanded, energetic, infinite being. And so you are welcome to stay in that nice, spacious place, or you can bring your energy back in a little bit, whatever feels good for you. Usually staying expanded feels really nice on the body. But can you see, if we were all, the folks that are just here right now even, the folks that will watch it in the future, when you expand out, we are co-mingling because you can get quite large, right? So we are all in this like energetic soup of awareness. So what if not everything you experience is yours? You gotta really get this, because this is what stops most folks. They go into all of their problems that they have in their mind and their body, yet what if they're not even theirs? What if you're just aware? So let me give you kind of an example, because the idea here is that your awareness is also spherical. Not only are you aware, tuned in, tapped in to this point in time, you're aware of things in the future, the past, like all time and space. So something that frequently happens is when you choose something, you will experience it, tap into the energy of it before it's even happened in this reality. So like, for example, I'm facilitating this Obliterating Doubt class this week, and going into it, I was aware of some really insane intensity. So the first class was on Tuesday, and like Saturday, Sunday, Monday, I was like, what is this? I'm feeling irritable AF, and I can't get out of it, and I'm trying all the things, and I'm like, oh wait, what am I facilitating? Doubt. What am I aware of? Well, I'm aware of the energy that the collective does about doubt. I'm aware of the folks that are going to join the call that day, who are going to watch it in the future. I'm aware of all their points of view about doubt. And what I got was some intense clarity, because doubt has a lot of freaking judgment with it. And judgment creates a lot of irritability, right? Because judgment activates the nervous system. So now, judgment's anything that's right or wrong or good or bad. And when people are doing doubt, they're going into making themselves wrong. I'm not good enough. I can't do this. And we go into like shrinking ourselves. And anytime we are doing judgment, our nervous system goes into like, I have to protect you, right? And so it goes into like a fight or flight response. And so I was feeling a lot of the fight. Like, what is this? This is intense. Oh, wait. I'm facilitating doubt on Tuesday. And it already started to dissipate because I acknowledged what I was aware of. Right? But what do we do in this reality? It's like, we go into like, oh, I'm having all this judgment and I'm irritable and maybe it's my period or maybe it's this. I mean, I definitely went into that, like, where am I at my cycle? And like all the things. Who am I mad at somebody? Like, then we are tuned into that radio station, the judgment radio station. So I'm like, how many stories can I come up with to tune into that? Yet, what if instead you were to ask yourself a question? What am I aware of here that I'm not acknowledging? Right? Because as I mentioned, once I acknowledged that, I was like, oh, I'm aware of the doubt class. The energy started to shift. I was like, oh, okay. That's how quick it can be. And then it really shifted dynamically after the first class. I was like, oh, okay. That's what I was aware of. But if you are constantly making yourself wrong for what you're aware of, what you're going through, then you will just stay stuck in the cycle and still not move forward. So the pragmatic tool for, I'm going to say dealing with your awareness, because I say dealing because a lot of folks that come to me are like, I wish I wasn't so empathic or so aware of other people's feelings and thoughts and like being so psychic. I'm like, yes, and how is it a gift? Right? So like, what if you saw it as you were going to Hogwarts with me, and I'm going to teach you how to manage this energy, and you can have the gift of knowing. You can have the gift of knowing what people are experiencing. And for me, it was kind of like, oh, wow, this doubt has a lot to it. And then by me going through it ahead of time, I got a lot of information around like the fieriness of what it takes to step into power. Because that was like the other end of the spectrum. I was like, that was not even something that I had thought about putting into the class until I embodied the experience of the doubt going into it. And so it's like, that's where your body is such a gift in giving you all this information. But if we're making ourselves wrong for it and not asking a question, well then, so we shall be when we're stuck. Let me know if questions are coming up around this, because I'd be curious what's coming up for folks around like your awareness. Where do you get stuck with your awareness? What do you tap into a lot of? So the really pragmatic tool for this is to ask a question, right? Because you can see what I was doing before, which was like, is this my period? Am I mad at somebody? What's like going into all that stuff? That's all conclusions. Because I've already decided I'm wrong for having this, and there must be, right? It's like there must be a reason. And it must be that I'm wrong. Not, what am I aware of? Right? That's a very different energy. It's the energy of openness to receiving. The energy that presupposes that I know more than my little cognitive brain could even explain to me. That I know. And I'm tapped into way more information and energy than I could even fathom. And when I come from that place, possibilities are endless. So this idea of staying in question with your life is like life-changing. And this is such one of the greatest tools from Access Consciousness specifically. So I've trained in 1,000 different modalities, and Access is one of my favorites because they just have so many really great, tangible, pragmatic tools to work with these energetic capacities. And so one of them is to kind of retrain yourself, reframe living in question rather than coming to conclusion. Because we're taught in this reality to find answers, get the right answer, right? Because like asking a question is dumb. Asking a question creates more awareness for you. So for me, like with the doubt class, it was, well, what am I aware of that I'm not acknowledging? Who does this belong to? Who does this belong to? Because if you're with us in the beginning, we were expanded out energetically. We're all commingling in the energetic soup. So you're aware of not just people in your immediate circle, but people just all around the world and what the collective does, right? And so it's like, if you're not acknowledging that, then you have to fix it. It's all on you. And if you notice, just take a moment right now. Perceive what's going on in your body. Is there intensity somewhere? And if there's an intensity somewhere, it might be in your mind, it might be in your body. And just zero in on it for a second and ask it, who does this belong to? Ask it a couple times. Who does this belong to? 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 And would you be willing to resend it, send it back to the sender with consciousness attached? Did you notice it get lighter? I all of a sudden have more space, like my senses are heightened, things are clearer, right? And it's just getting really present with the energy. Because when we acknowledge energy, it shifts. If we don't acknowledge, it contracts. So if I'm in an open-ended space, like open-ended question, possibilities, ease, my nervous system relaxes. But we're taught, come to conclusions, judgment, nervous system activation, contraction on the body. And so even if you don't, like you're like, infinite being, what if you just looked at it like, what feels better? Is it the questions? Is it the space? Or is it the judgment of the ego? What feels better on my body? For me, it's the space. And that is how you can start to play with your awareness. Because when you acknowledge it by asking a question, it can shift. Oh wait, it's actually not mine. It just got lighter. Okay, I can send that on. I don't need to fix this. If it locked up, if for any of you a part of it didn't get lighter or still heavy, you can ask, well, what is the lie I bought into here? What is the lie I bought into? And you don't even need to know what that means. Just tune into how it makes you feel. You might have noticed that like some tears came up when you're asking, who does this belong to? Or that it's like you started to get more present with the energy of what you were avoiding. And these are the capacities that you have. These are the skills that are required to just like have a little more ease on earth. Because it can not always be easy here. Right? And it's like, for what purpose are we doing all of this? Well, I'd like to have some ease and enjoyment and fun. And so what's that going to take? Well, I'm going to have to learn how to work with what I'm aware of energetically. Okay, so what like pragmatic tools can I do? Oh, I can ask a question. Okay. And so for folks that have followed me for a length of time know that I've taught this for a while, is like this idea of living in question, asking questions. And you can just tell by the space it creates. What else is possible here? What could I choose that's different? Who does this belong to? Can I change this? How can I change this? Space. Our bodies crave space. Our bodies want to be like more expanded out than we are. It's like when we're contracting all our energy, it's really hard on the body. I'm an HSP and I'm liking the questions. Yeah. So HSP, for folks who don't know, highly sensitive person. So you really want to look at, when you're like really sensitive to energy, the questions are going to be your BFF. So you can, to start to cue yourself to start to live in question, which is, I know, going to sound weird. Like, because at first you're like, well, shouldn't I have like the answer? Or that's how we talk. It's like you have answers and then you say things like, well, how does it get better than that? What else is possible? We're like, it is. That's the best it gets. We're just used to it. So it does sound weird and funky. And I promise you, it's life-changing. It's life-changing. I was just getting like, oh yeah, when I talked about how I also like questions rather than affirmations, because it's like a similar idea there, how it's just more expansive and inviting. It has a different generative energy that just allows your body to exhale. So to pragmatically start working on this, you can just like set a little cue on your phone, like an alert on your phone every couple hours, to just say, who does this belong to? Or what else is possible? What am I aware of that I'm not acknowledging? Just one question, just one, and have your phone ping you as like a little mindfulness exercise to just get present in the moment. And it will start to become your like go-to thing. Like it will, once you've done that enough, you won't need to do that. It will just be your natural reflex. How's it get better than that? Then you don't have to have your phone going off. But it does take the retraining at first. And this is like one of the major go-to tools, skills that I teach all my clients, because it's so simple, but not, because it just creates so much, and it can be so minute what it seems like it's doing, but it just compounds over time, and it's such a gift. So for folks that are just joining, we are doing 14 days of Follow the Energy in Life and Biz. And so I'm looking to facilitate you in getting more awareness of your own energetic capacities, abilities, with really also like pragmatic tools along the way. Because sometimes when folks talk about this, it's like really abstract. Like, what do they mean by that? A lot of these concepts can be like in the ethers kind of thing. And like, let's come down to earth and be like, we're here. Like, how do we deal with it? So check that out. I'm going to definitely be jumping on here probably like sporadically each day. So I don't have a set time. So trust that if you're on and you're live and you catch it, that is for you and meant for you. I'll definitely repost them to like YouTube and things like that, so you can catch the whole series. So that's what we're going to be doing. And I'm so excited. So if you are loving these types of conversations, I am having new opportunities to work with me coming soon. So I've been talking about it. If you've been here for a second, I've been talking about it a little bit. My Energy Flows for CEOs Mastermind, or my Activate membership. So they're mainly for folks that are entrepreneurs. Activate tends to be for the, I would say, earlier level entrepreneur, and EFC is more for the folks that already have a business. However, I've had people like do both depending on where they're at. So those are both starting in October. And if you're feeling called to like jump into this stuff, I would definitely check it out. And you can DM me if something is like one thing or the other is pinging you, or you need some more clarification. And I will be happy to provide that. And part of what I do is also refer you back to you. And what do you know? Right? Because that is the key here, is when folks can trust what they know, even with limited information, because your energy is aware, right? And that's how your awareness works. And that's how we start to trust ourselves. We start to trust ourselves by choosing the inspired pings. What's light? What's light to choose? Because what's light is what's going to create the most expansion for you. So that's what I'm here to do, to facilitate people back to themselves and trusting them. So I hope you'll join me on the rest of these days. I'll see you soon. Bye.